The June 2020 pending home sales report reveals a strong and ominous pattern emerging in the Tallahassee real estate market. For those of you who are new to our channel, this report provides us early insight into the direction of the market as it measures new contracts as opposed to new closings. In essence, we get a 30-day head start on determining market movements by studying pending home sales. Right now, we continue to see very strong contract activity, but if you followed other recent housing reports, you know that sales are down. So how is it that realtors are writing a lot of contracts, yet they are not seeing the results at the closing table? Today's report will provide you the insight into knowing what is going on and will prepare you to ensure you do not end up like a lot of other home sellers and buyers who are frustrated right now. I will be sharing a few graphs that help us understand what the current contracts are telling us, and then I conclude with a summary of my findings and how to best proceed, whether buying or selling a home or both. Hi there, this is Joe Manausa with Joe Manausa Real Estate, bringing you another real estate market update. If you already are a subscriber, thank you and welcome back. If you are new to our channel and you appreciate accurate housing market reports, answers to your real estate frequently asked questions, and virtual tours of some of the nicest homes in Tallahassee, then you have come to the right location. Hit subscribe to get started and the bell so you never miss anything. The first graph in today's pending home sales report was assembled from data in the Tallahassee MLS on June 14, 2020. On that date, I retrieved all the home sales that were closed from January 2019 through mid-June 2020 and sorted them by contract date, not closing date. Additionally, I added all properties that are under contract and sorted the entire group by the date contracts were written. What this data represents is all contracts written that are either still working towards closing or ones that have closed escrow, thus the agreements were confirmed. In other words, it measures all potentially good contracts. What this data does not include are contracts that were written and subsequently failed to close. Each month when I assemble a pending home sales report, failed contracts disappear so that we only left with ones that are waiting to close or those that successfully closed. The blue lines in this graph report the number of contracts written in 2019 by month that are either still pending or have already closed. The gray lines report the same for 2020. While we were amazed last month that April contracts had exceeded April 2019, we now find that so many fell apart that April 2020 contracts now trail 2019 contracts by about 10%. Currently, the number of contracts written through May is just 4 more than those written through May 2019, and we know more contracts are going to fall out. This means when you see this report next month, we will be reporting that May contracts were down. The next graph shows what buyers are spending on homes. Using the same data, I calculated the average home price in 2020 each month and compared it with the same months in 2019. Buyers are clearly spending more money this year than they did last year. One thing to note, though, is that the MLS does not reveal the contract price for pending home sales. That means for homes that have closed, we're using the actual sales price, but for those that are still under contract, we're using the asking price. This means that when all the homes tracked in the report close, it's likely we'll see the difference between the two tighten up a little, as most closed prices will likely be at or lower than most asking prices. This next graph demonstrates the rate at which home values are rising, which is far faster than normal. It tracks the average home value in 2020 each month and compares it with values from the same months in 2019. As you can see, the appreciation rate each month has ranged from as high as 8.5% to as low as 6.5%. When we look back over the past 30 years, we find the average appreciation rate was 3.2%, less than 1/2 of today's appreciation rate. Home values are moving higher faster. If you saw a recent report on new listings, then you know that sellers holding out for the end of the pandemic are the primary reason that we're seeing a run on prices and values. Inventory is too low, and buyers are fighting over what is out there. The final 2 graphs in today's report reveal the interesting market behavior that I mentioned at the beginning of this report. The information in the graph shows the current status of all homes sold or under contract by date the contracts were written. Currently, there are 659 Tallahassee homes for sale in the MLS that are already under contract with buyers. This represents an increase of 20% since last month's report revealed 550 homes under contract. Of those, 202 contracts were written in June, and 367 were written in May, and the rest were written as far back as August of 2018. Simply put, 86% of the contracts were written in the past 45 days. That makes sense, and it appears normal. What is not normal is what we see in the next graph. Up to this point, we demonstrated that prices and values are rising, and the number of contracts remains higher in 2020 than what were written in 2019, and that was a strong year last year. So take a look at the following graph, which shows how closed home sales are doing in 2020 versus the same time period in 2019. This is the first graph in today's report that is ranged by the date of closing as opposed to the contract date. Home sales fell hard in April and then fell even further in May. So even as realtors are writing contracts at a high rate, closings have not followed suit. This is something that we are clearly seeing in the data, yet this is not something that I'm experiencing in the field. Sure, we've had a few contracts that failed to close, but not more so than we normally do. This means that I cannot provide an exact reason why this is occurring, but I do have my suspicions. Now, more than ever, sellers should be hiring highly experienced agents to ensure they get them not just under contract, but actually sold. Can you imagine getting your home under contract with a buyer, being all excited, then going out and putting a contract on the home you plan to buy? It's an exhilarating and scary process. But what happens when the buyer of your home cannot close? Where does that leave you with the seller of the home you plan to buy? It's not a good position to find yourself in, so protect yourself by working with an experienced, top-producing agent. There's a lot of money spent when preparing to buy a home. Don't let it all go to waste because your real estate agent could not get you through the entire process. While there is a pandemic to deal with today, sound business and contractual processes still apply. We would love to show you how we can help. If you like this video, please take a moment to tell YouTube that this is a video worth watching. Simply click on the thumbs up, subscribe, and then click the bell icon so you never miss anything.